My in-laws tried to stop the ceremony with a fake story until my grandmother walked in and exposed them. Those words hit me like a thunderclap on what was supposed to be the sunniest day of my life. Picture this: white tents fluttering in the warm Austin breeze, fairy lights strung like stars across the oaks, and 200 faces beaming up at me in my lace gown. I was Allison Hayes, 32, finally saying I do to the man who'd stolen my heart 5 years ago. But beneath all that sparkle, a storm was brewing, one that could have shattered everything. Hey, before we dive deeper into this mess, hit pause for a second. Drop a comment below. Where are you watching from? What city lights up your world right now? Brazil? New York? Sydney? I love hearing from you all. It makes these stories feel like we were sharing secrets over coffee. All right, let's keep going. You want to believe what happened next. It started like every dream wedding should. Jake and I met at a rooftop barbecue in downtown Austin. Him in his faded jeans, me spilling salsa on my sundress. He laughed it off, wiped it clean, and by dessert we were trading stories about our wild college days. Jake's the kind of guy who fixes your flat tire without a word, then grills the best brisket you've ever tasted. Solid. Steady. The yin to my chaotic yang. Our families? That's where the fairy tale got its first crack. My side was pure Texas heart. Mom with her warm hugs and endless peach cobbler recipes. Dad, the quiet rancher type who'd drive 3 hours for a family barbecue. And then there's Gran, my rock. 82, sharp as a tack, with silver hair pinned back like she was ready for battle. She raised me after Mom and Dad's long days on the farm, teaching me to spot a lie from a mile away. Allison, honey, she'd say, eyes twinkling, truth is like good whiskey. It burns going down, but clears the fog. Jake's family, though. They were polished edges hiding jagged lines. His mom, Karen, picture a woman in pearls and pencil skirts, the kind who plans charity galas but whispers judgments behind manicured hands. She'd smile at me across the dinner table, but her eyes? They sized me up like I was yesterday's news. Oh, Allison, you were so earthy, she'd coo, like it was a compliment wrapped in silk. Mike, Jake's dad, was the silent enforcer, broad-shouldered, ex-corporate, always nursing a scotch and nodding along to whatever Karen decreed. And then Tyler, Jake's younger brother, the wild card. 28, slick hair, sharper tongue, always cracking jokes that landed a little too close to home. We were blending worlds, or so I thought. The wedding was our big statement. Love wins, families unite, all that Hallmark jazz. Venue? A rustic barn just outside Austin, wildflowers in mason jars, string quartet warming up with soft violins, guests milled about, my cousins in sundresses, Jake's old college buddies in linen suits, aunts fanning themselves against the May heat. Laughter bubbled like champagne. Kids chased fireflies early, even though it was barely dusk. Jake caught my eye from across the lawn, his grin wide and boyish. "You ready, Al?" he mouthed. I nodded, heart swelling. This was it. Our forever. Sealed under that golden Texas sky. But even then, I felt the undercurrent. Little things, like shadows slipping through sunlight. Karen's hug at the rehearsal dinner lingered too long, her perfume cloying, floral, overpowering. "We were so thrilled, dear," she said, but her fingers dug in just a bit. Mike cleared his throat, muttering about family traditions over the steak. "Tyler?" He cornered Jake by the bar, voice low. "You sure about this, bro? She's different." Jake brushed it off, but I saw the flicker in his eyes, the doubt they planted like weeds. My family sensed it too. Gran pulled me aside during photos, her gnarled hand on my arm. "Watch your back, sugar. Not everyone is cheering for the bride." I laughed it off. Nerves, I told myself. What could go wrong? We'd fought through long-distance job losses, even a hurricane that flooded our apartment. This was our victory lap. Pride swelled in my chest as I walked the aisle in my mind's eye. Head high, veil trailing like a promise. The stakes? Oh, they were sky high. For me, it was love. Raw, real. The kind that makes you believe in soulmates. For Jake, family legacy. His folks had drilled into him that marriage was a merger, not just a party. Reputation hung in the air like humidity. Mine, spotless small-town girl. Theirs, Old money Austin elite. And Gran? She carried our history, the stories of grit and grace that no one else dared touch. One wrong word, one slipped secret, and it could all unravel. Orgullo? Yeah, that burned brightest. Mine for building this life, theirs for controlling it. As the ceremony hour ticked closer, the air thickened. Guests settled into white folding chairs, programs fluttering like nervous butterflies. I stood in the bridal suite, mirror reflecting a woman on the edge of bliss. Rosy cheeks, curls pinned with baby S breath. Mom fussed with my train, eyes misty. You were glowing, baby girl. Dad waited outside, arm ready for the walk down. Jake paced in his tux, tie crooked, whispering vows to himself. Everything looked perfect. Normal. The quartet struck up Pachelbel's canon, notes weaving through the oaks like a lullaby. But those hidden tensions? They coiled tighter, unseen serpents in the garden. A sideways glance from Karen as she took her seat in the front row. A hush from Tyler S. corner, his laugh cutting short. I didn't know it yet, but the first threads were fraying. Little did I know my in-laws had a plan. A story. Twisted. False. Aimed straight at my heart. They thought they could stop it all, right there under the chuppah. But fate? It had other ideas. And Gran, well, she was about to light the match. The walk down the aisle felt like gliding on clouds at first. Dad's grip was firm, his calloused hand a quiet promise against my trembling fingers. Petals crunched softly underfoot, a carpet of blush roses and white daisies leading to Jake under the floral arch. Guests stood, their faces a blur of warmth, smiles from my sorority sisters, nods from Jake's work buddies. Cameras flashed like stars winking approval. Jake's eyes met mine, deep brown pools of forever, pulling me in. For that moment, love drowned out the world. But the whispers slithered in early. A low hum from the third row, my uncle shifting, murmuring to Aunt Jen. Bah, something off with Jake's family. I caught it mid-stride, smile freezing like ice on a pond. Just jitters, I told myself. Breathe, Allison. The quartet's melody swelled, violins weaving Pachelbel's canon into the breeze, masking the unease. We reached the altar. The officiant, Reverend Tom, with his kind crinkles and leather-bound book, welcomed us with a gentle, dearly beloved. Jake's hand enveloped mine, warm and sure, his thumb brushing my knuckles in that secret code. We re-good. But my gaze wandered. Front row, Karen, posture rigid as a board, pearls catching light like cold fire. Her lips pressed thin, not a smile in sight. Mike next to her, scotch-scented even from here, knee bouncing faintly. Tyler, in the row behind, fiddled with his phone, thumb flicking too deliberately. A knot twisted in my stomach, small, insistent. Rings first. Jake's voice rang clear. Allison, with this ring, I give you my heart. The gold band slid on, cool against my skin, drawing awes from the crowd. My turn. Jake, you re my home. Laughter bubbled when I added, even if home means fixing my endless bad parking jobs. The tension eased, guests chuckling, a cousin wiping her eye. See? Magic holding. Vows next. I went first, facing Jake, words tumbling from a full heart. You saw the real me, the girl who cries at dog commercials and dances in the rain. And you loved her anyway. His grin flashed, boyish and bright, eyes shining. Applause rippled soft. But halfway through, a snag. Karen leaned into Mike, lips moving fast. His nod was sharp, final. My skin prickled, goosebumps under lace. Eyes on me, heavy as judgment. Jake's turn. Al, you were the spark in my ordinary days. The one who turns Tuesdays into adventures. More laughs, heartfelt. But then, cough. Harsh, echoing from Tyler S. spot. Head swiveled. He shrugged, smirking faintly, but the damage lingered, a pebble in the shoe. The air thickened, May humidity pressing like a warning. Sweat beaded at my nape, veil heavy now. Reverend Tom intoned the line. If any hear no cause why these two should not be joined, We all breathed. Theater, right? Wrong. Karen stood, deliberate, queenly. Chairs scraped as gasps sucked the oxygen dry. Jake S. whisper cracked. Mom, sit down. She waved him off, claiming the wireless mic from a wide-eyed groomsman. Her voice boomed, polished and piercing. I cannot. Not while my son marches to ruin. The world froze. Birds silenced mid-song. My knees wobbled. Jake's arm braced me. What is this? He hissed. Karen faced the crowd, phone raised like a talisman. Allison has secrets. An affair. With Mark, your best man. Horrified inhales, my mom's hand clutching Dad's S, his face thunderous. Jake S. pals exchanged stunned looks. Proof, Karen continued. Screen aglow with faked texts, blurred shots. Months of betrayal. I warned her. She pleaded silence, but I protect my family. Lies. Gut-wrenching fiction. Mark? The brother I never had, who'd toasted my promotion last month. But doubt spread like wildfire. Whispers igniting rows. No. Can't be. Tyler rose, backing her. We tried telling you, Jake. She's poison. Mike is an odd sealed it, stoic complicity. Heat scorched my cheeks. Shame, not guilt. Tears blurred the arch. It is false, I cried, voice raw over the mic, weak against the roar of scandal. Guests averted eyes. An aunt sobbed quietly. Jake turned, face fracturing. Allison, tell me it is not. His plea knifed deeper than accusation. The officiant stammered, quartet silent. Buzz swelled. Humiliation crashing like waves. Pride crumbled, love teetered. They'd scripted my ruin. Ceremony halted, future in tatters. Karen S. eyes triumphed. Tyler smirked, exposed, broken. Then, creak. Barn doors groaned open. Footsteps, cane tapping resolute. Gran emerged from shadow, 82, unbowed, blue dress flowing like resolve. Silver curls haloed in sunset. Crowd parted, awed hush falling. She claimed the aisle, gaze sweeping. Pity for me, steel for Jake, fire for Karen. Stopped at the front. Cane thumped. Looked to me. Hold steady, girl. To Jake. Breathe, son. To Karen. Your turn's over. Karen faltered. Elder Ellis, this is private. Private as a public hanging. Gran snatched the mic, voice gravel and grace. Turned to all. Folks, buckle up. Truth time. And I've got the real proof. Air hummed electric. Jake S. hand found mine again. Flicker of faith. My pulse surged. Reckoning brewed. Gran didn't whisper warnings. She unleashed storms. Gran didn't just hold the mic. She commanded the moment, her voice a gravelly thunder rolling over the stunned assembly. Let me school you on real proof, she said, eyes narrowing on Karen like a hawk sighting a rabbit. With a flick of her wrist, she pulled a slim envelope from her dress pocket, yellowed edges, tied with faded ribbon. This here's history, not some Photoshop folly. The crowd hushed deeper, 200 pairs of eyes glued, breaths held in collective suspense. She unfolded the first page, holding it aloft like a flag of surrender. For them. Karen, you claim Allison as a liar? Let's talk liars. Gasps rippled anew as Gran read aloud, steady and unyielding. A letter, dated 5 years back, from Jake's own family lawyer. Regarding the fabricated claims against Allison Hayes during the engagement phase, dismissed as baseless by all parties. Murmurs exploded. Sharper, accusatory. My mom's face lit with vindication, her yes cutting through. Dad's nod was fierce, arm around her. Gran pressed on, pages turning like chapters in a reckoning. And this? Emails. Yours, Karen. To a private eye paying for dirt that didn't exist. Dig up anything, past boyfriends, job flops. Cost you $5,000, didn't he it? Wasted on smoke. Karen's face drained to ash, mouth opening fish-like, no sound escaping. The phone in her lap buzzed, ignored, damning. Mike shifted away, an inch but an ocean, his alliance cracking audibly. The exposure hit like dominoes. Tyler bolted upright, color fleeing his cheeks. Gran, That's not. But she wheeled on him, cane pointing like accusation. Sit, boy. Your text to that PI? Make it stick. I got copies. Family chat's a goldmine when folks forget delete buttons. He deflated, sinking into his seat, hands raking through slick hair. Guests turned, Jake's aunt whispering disgrace, my cousins hissing, how dare they? The front rows became a theater of shame. Karen S. pearls now nooses, Mike's S. scotch spilling forgotten on the grass. Shock morphed to solidarity. A wave of applause built, sporadic at first, then roaring, chairs scraping as people rose. Tears streamed free, mine of release, Jake's S. of rage melting to relief. He pulled me close, whispering, I am so sorry, into my veil. His tux rumpled but resolve ironclad. Never doubted you, Al. Not really. The efficient, recovering, clutched his book like a lifeline. If objections are resolved? Gran handed back the mic, but not the stage. Resolved? Hell yes. Proceed, Reverend. These kids deserve their dance. Laughter cracked the tension. Belly deep, healing. The quartet, cueing off her nod, plunged into Mendelssohn's Wedding March, notes soaring like birds freed from cages. We resumed. Vows reaffirmed, rings reseated under cheers that vibrated the oaks. I do, Jake said, voice booming with promise. Mine echoed, fierce and full. I do. The kiss sealed it, deep, defiant, met with whoops and whistles that drowned any lingering doubt. Recession turned revelry. Guests surged the aisle, not with pity, but pride. Mom enveloped us in a hug smelling of joy and jasmine, sobbing, my brave girl. Dad bear-hugged Jake. You are family now, son, blood or not. Gran linked arms with us, cane tapping a victory march. That's how you do Texas, she quipped, drawing chuckles. Strangers became storytellers. Your Gran as a force, from Jake's as co-worker, claps on backs all around. The reception? Electric rebirth. Barn doors flung wide, fairy lights igniting like fireworks. Tables groaned under brisket and cobbler, champagne popping like corks from pressure valves. Toasts flew. My Uncle S. Mike time. To Gran, the real MVP. May she never run out of envelopes. Roars of laughter, glasses clinking in waves. Even skeptics joined. Jake's S. cousin pulling me aside. That was wrong. You were gold. No side eyes, just stories swapped. The affair fable twisted into cautionary comedy. But consequences carved deep. Karen fled early, Mike trailing with a mumbled, I'll talk later. Tyler vanished into the dusk, phone silenced. By night's end, Jake confronted them in the parking lot, voice low, hurt raw. You almost broke us. For what? Control? Karen's whisper. I thought, no finish. They drove off, taillights fading like old chapters. Days later, Mike's S. call. Gruff, broken. We crossed lines. Therapy for all of us. Karen S. followed. Voicemail trembling. Forgive? Please. We paused invites, set ground rules. No more meddling, earn trust slow. Tyler, a single text. Sorry, man. Unreplied. Wounds fresh, but doors cracked, not slammed. For us? The marriage bloomed resilient. That night, under strung lights, we danced. Barefoot on hay-strewn floors. Jake's S. hand warm on my waist. Guests swirling like confetti. Whispers of stronger now followed us to the honeymoon suite, where we collapsed laughing, veil tangled in sheets. Life post vows, deeper roots. Weekly check-ins with Gran, her wisdom our compass. Family barbecues tentative but thawing. Mike grilling with Dad, stories bridging gaps. The fake story? It scarred, but scabs turned to strength. Love, once threatened, now armored. Pride restored. Not in perfection, but in the fight won together. Reputation? We owned the narrative. Survivors, not victims. And in quiet moments, Jake's S. whisper, best day ever. Because it was. The one that proved us unbreakable. As the dust settled on that wild Austin afternoon, I found myself replaying it all. Not in anger, but in awe. We'd stepped into a fairy tale laced with thorns, emerged with crowns of our own making. Jake and I, navigating the after like explorers charting new land. Mornings now start with gratitude lists scribbled on napkins. His steady hand, Gran's fierce envelope, the crowdus roar. Evenings end tangled in talks. What ifs dissolved into what nows. That fake story? It didn't just expose them, it illuminated us. Cracks in the foundation revealed bedrock. Reflecting deeper, family dynamics hit like a revelation. Blended ties aren't a seamless quilts. They were patchwork, stitches tested by tension. Karen's ploy stemmed from her own ghosts, fear of loss, echoes of a youth where control was currency. Pity crept in for her, unbidden. A woman armored in pearls, hollowed by what-ifs. Mike's complicity? Silent storms of regret, now voiced in awkward calls. Tyler's flight? Youth clumsy cruelty, perhaps a mirror to Jake's steadier path. We didn't sever. We sculpted boundaries. Therapy sessions where tears unearthed truths, dinners with rules. Listen first, judge never. Healing not linear, but it's happening. Last week, Karen joined brunch. Tentative smiles over Gran's quiche. A shared laugh at a burnt edge. Progress, fragile as eggshell. Gran, our North Star, undimmed. She dusts that envelope like a trophy, trotting it out for visitors. Keeps the wolves honest. At 83, she's penning her memoir, chapters on grit, with our saga as Exhibit A. Her health holds, buoyed by purpose. We whisk her to Barton Springs for dips, her laughter bubbling cooler than the water. Weddings test the weave, she says, toweling off. Yours held. Icon doesn't cover it. She's oracle, the voice reminding us, vulnerability is not weakness, it is the thread that binds. For Jake and me, the marriage unfurled richer. Anniversaries marked not just dates, but depths. A vow renewal under those same oaks, intimate, tear-streaked. Work thrived, my designs bolder, infused with comeback chic. His projects collaborative, trust rebuilt brick by brick. We chase dreams unshadowed, a nursery sketch on the fridge, puppy adoption dreams named Truth. Travels beckon, coastal bend sunsets, where waves whisper forgiveness. Challenges arise, a leaky roof, late nights, but we toolbox them. Remember the barn? Laughter disarms. Broader still, that day reshaped my lens on love and legacy. We romanticize happily ever after, but it's forged in fire. Hidden tensions aired, not buried. Pride swells not from flawless facades, but authentic stands. Mine in voicing the hurt, Jake's in choosing heart over heritage. Reputation? Self-made now, woven from whispers turned cheers. Orgullo burns bright in the ordinary. Coffee runs hand in hand. Gran calls at dawn. Truth isn't a weapon. It's wings, lifting above the fray. If you read mid-journey, planning vows, mending rifts, hear this. Guard your circle, but welcome the light bringers. Question the stories spun in shadows. Craft your own in sun. Storms sharpen sails. Sail on. Your I do might face tempests or none, but armed with grit and kin like Gran, you'll weather to wonder. Woo! From Thunderclap title to this quiet close, thanks for journeying with me. If it resonated, subscribe for more tales that tug the heartstrings. And comments? Your turn. Ever faced a family bombshell at a big moment? How'd you flip the script? Spill the tea. I read everyone. You read a spark here. Until next, love boldly, live true.